Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Today, welcome to a rant. And as you can maybe attest, I've had one of those days and really one of those series of months and kind of in some ways one of those series of years. And today's just one of those days I feel like letting it off my chest or getting it off my chest. And I'm going to do it by ripping the narcissist. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to talk about ways that you can know that you are not the narcissist. And in doing so, it's going to expose just how wicked and cruel and disgusting these people are. So, with no further ado, here we go. You are not the narcissist. If you care about people with no benefit to yourself, one thing that these people, these creatures, cannot do is care about anybody in a deep, authentic way. And yes, I have said before and I maintain it depends on how far down the spectrum they are. Some narcissists can care somewhat about people at times in some small ways. If you're way down the road and you're reprobate, kiss that goodbye. They care zilch about anybody, that's it. They don't care any more about somebody than the devil does because that's what they are. They're carbon copies of the devil. So if you are actually capable of doing one self-sacrificial thing for another person, just one thing for another human being that does not in some way, shape, or form benefit you, you're not a narcissist because they can't do it. Every little good thing they do for you is only to breadcrumb you or future fake you or make up for something to ease their guilty conscience because they know what they've been doing. See, sometimes they do great things from you out of nowhere. Here's a little inside hint. If the narcissist does something wonderful, seemingly just out of nowhere, let me tell you why they did it. Because they did something really egregious behind your back that you don't know about, and they actually felt a bit of shame for it. Yeah, a lot of narcissists can feel shame. Not saying they sit and mourn and groan over what they did, but they feel the shame because they knew what they did was wrong. Those are the only times you're going to see anything good out of the narcissist. They are never just going to sacrifice their time, their day, their money, their effort for you unless there's something in it for them. Here's another one. Uh, Save that one for later. If you value people or relationships, you are not the narcissist. They don't value anybody. And that's why a lot of people talk today in the dating world, in which we know humanity has become massively narcissistic. But people who have these channels and things, they'll talk about, especially for men, what do you need to do to get a woman? And we're mainly talking about narcissistic women because most of them are. Many men are, many women are. It's just the norm. That's the norm. What do you have to do to land a woman, bro? What do you got to do? Just level up. Just keep leveling up. If you just get to this tippy top high point where you've just got everything going and you just have everything in order. You're in fit, you're in shape, you look good, you got a great job, you got great money, you got a great house. If you do all that, bro, you're going to get a woman. Wrong, 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 and wrong across the board. Because it has way less to do. Anybody who requires that sort of a thing in a person, let me tell you another hint. That's called an insatiable person. That's called a highly narcissistic person, and there's nothing you're ever going to do to satisfy them. They don't matter. They don't care how much money you have. Let me clarify something. They do all of this to get something out of you. So in a sense, in a very superficial way, they do care about the money. But ultimately, they don't value anybody regardless of what they have. You could be tall, dark, handsome, wealthy, famous, super put together, faithful, fit, everything. And that narcissist will not appreciate you any more than they do anybody else. They might try to glom onto you for certain things you can give to them, but they don't appreciate you. That's why if something goes wrong in your life, they're out. If you get sick, they're out. If something they perceive as better comes along, they're out. They don't value anything, and that's reason number 9,211 why you cannot make a relationship with a narcissist work. Period. Case closed. End of discussion. So if you can value people and relationships, I guarantee you, you're not a narcissist. What else we got here? Yeah, similar to this. If you don't need to play games with people, particularly romantic interests, you are not a narcissist. These people are the ultimate gamers. It is games on top of games. In fact, all of life is a game for the narcissist. They want to see how much stuff they can accumulate throughout the course of their lives because in their deluded, spiritually corrupt minds, they think they can take it with them. What are you going to take to hell? What are you even going to take to heaven? Nothing. That's why the believer is told to store their treasures up in heaven, not on earth, because you can take nothing from earth with you except your deeds and the life you live, and that will follow you, nothing else. To the narcissist, all the stuff, all the relationships they can get, and all the people they can screw over, and all the money they can accumulate, and material possessions, and that's what matters to them because they're only concerned about the here and the now. And I could make that another one. If you have any sort of foresight, if you can look beyond the here and the now, you're not a narcissist because they just do stuff just on a whim. Just whatever they feel like doing in the moment, that's what they do. They give zero forethought to what's going to happen down the road. If I make this decision, what will happen? If I do X, Y, or Z, what will happen? Never enters into their minds. They don't care. They don't even think about it. What do I want right now, like a little kid in Willy Wonka's factory who sees a lollipop over there? That's what I want, mommy. That's the narcissist. So where was I? Yeah, games. If you don't have to play games with people, if you don't feel like you need to ghost people for power, because today people ghost others, it can be going great in a relationship or a talking stage or whatever, and they disappear. They did it to get power over you. So you would chase them. The narcissist does this over and over and over. That's why they give you silent treatment. That's why they do most of what they do is to obtain power over people. If you don't feel like you have to play games, if you don't feel like you have to obtain power over another human being, you're not a narcissist. And that's a major one I should have made its own point. If you don't feel the need to get leverage and power and control and manipulate and have all of that control, you're not a narcissist because that's what their whole life is about. So if you don't feel like you have to play games with somebody, do the little poking, prodding, devow, cutting criticism stuff, pull away, ghost, give silent treatment. Oh, will he chase me? Will he chase me? If you don't need to do those things, you're not a narcissist because they all do those things. What else we got? Let me pull this up. Sorry, guys. I had these written down on my way home here. If you can be faithful to another human being, you are most assuredly not a narcissist. These people cannot stay faithful to save their lives. I know a lot of folks say that not all narcissists cheat, and I think that's accurate, but they need to explain why that is. The only narcissists that don't cheat are the ones who are in some kind of particular situation where they cannot get away with it. And there are just some circumstances that's true. Maybe they're so old and decrepit, or they're so out of shape and slobby, or they're just so mean and cantankerous that people just won't have anything to do with them. Or they're in a position where maybe they're a public figure, and I get it, that doesn't stop most people. But there's some sort of public figure or some sort of pastor of a church maybe, or some sort of position, maybe with the city council or something where they just know it would look so bad on them that maybe then they won't do it. But we're talking about 98 to 99% of these people are unfaithful. They are always talking to others behind your back. When you meet one of them, they have a whole bunch of folks they're dealing with. You don't know it, but they do. And the whole duration of that entanglement, they're talking and building other people, if not seeing other people. If you can stay faithful, and it doesn't even occur to people like me and you to cheat. It doesn't even occur to us to do it. To them, it doesn't occur to them to not do it. And they actually, because they're so warped, they believe that because they do it, you must be doing it. So they'll do it just to get one up on you, just to say, I got there first. Ha, I beat you to the punch. And it also gives them power. They love to know that they're getting away with doing things that you don't know anything about. That gives them, ooh, this rush. Because they're thinking to themselves and their little smirks as you're sitting on the couch or in the car. He doesn't know. I'm seeing somebody else and he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Ooh, they just get giddy over it. Yeah, they're sick. If you can stay faithful to another person, truly faithful, not talking to other people behind their back, not setting them up, not flirting, not entertaining, then you are not a narcissist. You can make book on that. Here's another one. This is very connected. Because we live in a world, guys, where I promise you, with dating apps, social media, corrupt culture, the whole corrupt package, most people out there today are doing things to get validation and attention. Men talk about this all the time. And yes, men do wicked things. There are wicked men. I'm not saying there aren't. Please, ladies, I'm not saying there aren't wicked men. Most of you dealt with, on my channel, dealt with wicked men. So please don't hear this. But since I am a man, I follow a lot of different things. And one of the things that men in general complain about is that women will build something up with them just to break it off. They'll be talking to 5 other people while they're talking to them. You meet on a dating app especially, you can guarantee that person's dealing with all kind of people. Who wants to mess with that? Not me. Why do they do it though? Is it so they can actually get into relationships? No, 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 no. It's just for validation and attention. We're to a point where people they're not even out there trying to get good people. They're not even trying to get into relationships. They're just trying to see how many people can I get on the hook? How many people can give me attention at the same time? That's the narcissist. That's why culture's so heavily narcissistic. People live on these dating apps, live on social media, live on their phones, texting 50,000 people, and they do it almost exclusively for validation and attention because it builds them up. They're so deeply insecure. There's this massive hole inside of them, and the only thing that fills it up is just constant. It's like Pac-Man going around, just chomping up on everything. It's got to get hold of every little energy bead that it can. And no one bead is good enough. No one person is good enough. It takes endless validation because they're that deeply insecure. That's the narcissist. Yet how they portray themselves. They're so independent. They're so secure. They don't need anybody. I don't need a man. I don't need a woman. But all they do is deal with men and women constantly. The people who tell you I don't need it, they're the people who are dealing with the most because they're so insecure. So if you don't need validation and attention, and granted, we all like a little bit, but if you don't need that to thrive, you don't need that to function, you're not a narcissist. 100% of narcissists need validation and attention, aka supply. I got 2 left, and they're the best ones. I think I saved them. They must have, nope, there's 2. Yeah. If you can live at peace, you're not a narcissist. The biggest way, and this is like the most simple thing on earth. How do you know if somebody is sent from God versus somebody sent from the devil, like a narcissist? Do they bring peace into your life or do they bring chaos? It's actually literally that simple. The narcissist will bring chaos into your life. They must have it. They'll even admit it. I've heard it. I thrive on chaos. I thrive on chaos. Yeah, they'll say it. It's amazing the things that they'll admit, especially if you kind of bait them into it. If you kind of know who they are and what they're doing. So if you like stability, you like things to be peaceful in a relationship, you don't need that roller coaster ride. You want things to go well. You're not a narcissist. Reason number 900,000 bazillion gajillion of why it will never work with a narcissist is that aside from even not being able to get it right, they don't want a relationship to work. They don't want it to function. They want it to be chaotic, which is why every time it's starting to go well, right, they do something to blow it sky high. They thrive in chaos because they are of the devil, their father. So if you can be at peace, if you like the steady, stable sort of life in relationships, you are absolutely, without any question, not a narcissist. One more I'm going to get to at the end, but I'll throw this in since I thought about it. If you can introspect, you're not a narcissist. If you can actually look inwardly and evaluate and question, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Do I have work to do? Can I correct mistakes? Can I apologize? That's another thing. If you can introspect, if you can heal, if you can apologize, if you can do work on yourself to improve, you are absolutely not a narcissist because they cannot do it. But here's the final one. And to me, this is maybe the biggest one, but I don't know. If you are capable of being alone, you're not a narcissist. Sort of connects to the earlier one about cheating. But if you are actually, it's if it's possible for you to be on your own, truly single. And let me define single because the world we live in is that shot and disgusting. What single used to mean and should still mean is you are not married, you are not engaged, you are not in a committed relationship, you are not dating anybody, and you are not even romantically talking to anybody. You are absolutely on your own. There is no romantic interest in your life. That's what single should and is supposed to mean. But because the culture we live in today, let me tell you what single means. It simply means I'm not in a locked down, deeply committed relationship. Oh, yeah, I can be dating 5 people. I can be on the dating apps. I can be texting 3 people on the phone. I can be getting inboxed. I can be reaching out to people. I can be triangulating people. I can be doing all of that, and I'm still single. That's what single means to most of the world and definitely to the narcissist. So when you meet them and they tell you that they're single or you think that they're single, they don't mean it the way you do. Because the narcissist at all times, and listen to me, all times has some romantic interest or interests in their lives. They cannot be alone for a fraction of a shadow of a tenth of a speck of a second. And they never are. And that's why they're always with other people while they're dating you or seeing you or married to you. Much less if they're not in a lockdown committed relationship. What do you think they're doing? In this day and age, because of this godforsaken thing here, it makes it effortless. You can be talking, texting, inboxing, hooking up, dating with so many people so easily, especially if you're a manipulative narcissist. It's not the days of old where you had to get dressed, go somewhere, and meet somebody organically in life. Or you got set up by mutual friends, or you met somebody through church or some other affiliation. No. All you have to do is just take a glamorized picture of yourself or a few, put some filters on, post some garbage, nonsense lies online, and watch them pour in. And you'd be talking to 900 kinds of people just like that. And they do it. It's that easy. Do you think that someone that corrupt, that unfaithful, that insecure is going to have that kind of power at their disposal and not be doing everything they can to talk to as many people as they can? It's so bad that if you go on a date with these people, you will often see their phone buzz with a message from other people they're dating while you're out. They can't even control it for that long because there's so many people they're dealing with. And when they go silent and when you're not hearing from them, that's because they're dealing with other people. They're not alone. They're not sitting back playing solitaire on their phone. No. They're not taking a walk. They're not fishing or writing. That's stuff we would do. The narcissist is communicating with other people at all times. They are absolutely incapable of being alone. So never question if they're single, never question if they're cheating, never question if they've got backups for backups, because they cannot be alone for 1 second, and therefore all of those things are going to happen. So if you don't do that and you can be alone, you can take weeks, months, even possibly for some of us years when you're not seeing, dating anybody, period. You're actually authentically single. You are definitely not a narcissist. So, guys, thanks for just listening to my rant today. Like I said, sometimes it's nice to get it off your chest. I know we all deal with things, and sometimes it's more irritating than others. And when you start to think of how disgusting these people are, you know what I'm saying. So, anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and I will come at you with another one here soon. Until then, God bless.